Welcome to Foundation Friday. The dedication and covenant of silent unity was signed on December 7th, 1892 by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, founders of the Unity movement. It is unlikely when they signed this covenant that they had any idea how far-reaching unity would be as it evolved into the church we know and love today. We invite you to join us as we explore and share some of the original ideas, teachings, and writings of the men and women who created the foundation of the Unity Church.
Hi, thank you for joining us today for our Foundation Friday program. Today we are once again going into the lessons by Lowell Fillmore. If you are familiar with Unity, the name Fillmore undoubtedly stands out to you. Charles and Myrtle Fillmore were, of course, the co-creators of the Unity movement, of Unity. Their oldest son was Lowell Fillmore, who in his own right was a wonderful metaphysician and teacher. He also wrote several articles and books. He even edited one of the magazines for many, many years. So today we're looking at conquering jealousy. And I always think of jealousy as the covets, thou shalt not covet, is what I think of when I think of jealousy. So let's get into what Lowell thinks. But before I read this, I want to remind you Lowell Fillmore ends his lessons with a positive affirmation for you to take into meditation every day. He gives 7 different ones so that as you're working on conquering jealousy, you have 7 different steps, 7 different meditations, and they'll be at the end of the lesson. Okay, here goes. Remember that jealousy is a soul disease that causes its victims to suffer mental torture and also adversely affects the functions of his body and his harmonious association with other persons. I like that, a soul disease. I think I'll borrow that. Jealousy works on a person's mind in such a subtle way that its unhappy victim often blames other persons for his plight instead of himself, the real culprit. It is almost unbelievable that there are so many good and well-meaning persons who are suffering from this mental malady, not knowing what ails them. Jealousy is often so deeply hidden in a person's subconscious mind that he does not realize that he is jealous. Sometimes others are aware of his condition while he is ignorant of it. He realizes that something is wrong and that he is not happy, and so concludes that outer circumstances are to blame. The question of how or when jealousy entered his consciousness does not matter so much as how he can be rid of it. He may have acquired it in childhood. Perhaps he became jealous when he thought his parents were showing greater affection and attention to his brothers or sisters than to him. And he told himself that they were getting something he wanted, and he must find a way to get even with the favored ones. Seed thoughts of hate were thus sown among the thoughts of love in his consciousness. These may have grown unnoticed in his conscious mind, influencing his thoughts and acts without his consent. This does not explain the cause of every person's jealousy, but the point is that no matter how a person acquired it, he should not allow it to spoil his career. God's plan for every man and woman is that they are to be happy in serving God and man unselfishly. Okay, personally, I want to comment on something in this paragraph. I absolutely love seed thoughts of hate. What a powerful, powerful explanation for some of those nasty, resentful, horrible thoughts that can just show up and go chasing through our mind, seemingly without cause or rhyme or reason, to think of them as seed thoughts that need to be removed. I know that's going to help me a lot. Okay, back to the article. If you are unhappy and you have any reason to believe that possibly your unhappiness is being caused by a hidden feeling of jealousy, you should face the problem and analyze your motives carefully. If you find that you are jealous, admit it and cast out the feelings by forgiving yourself and asking God to forgive you also. Then begin forgiving those who have aroused jealousy in you. Forgiveness is the most effective method of removing this kind of trouble. By forgiving all the mistakes of the past, be they your own or those made by other persons, you free yourself from unhealthy weeds that may be growing in your subconscious mind. Once again, I find myself loving the way Lowell Fillmore expressed himself. Those unhealthy weeds that are growing in your subconscious mind. Okay, back to the article. I ask you, is it reasonable that you should be unhappy when something good comes to another person instead of to you? When you are sure that God is your unfailing source of supply, you feel so rich as you abide in His love that you rejoice when you see someone receiving something good, whether you think he deserves it or not. We should form the habit of giving thanks when we hear that good news has come to someone. This habit brings us closer to the source of all blessings, which makes it possible for us to enter into the spirit of blessing so that blessings greet us on every hand. No matter if another person has attained something good that we desired but failed to attain, we should rejoice anyway because it shows us that good is possible. And if he attained it, so can we. If someone who works with you seems to have more favor in the eyes of the boss than you do not worry about it. Worry and hurt feelings only make it more difficult for you to succeed in doing what is pleasing to God and man. The way to success is made easier for you when you think thoughts of success and praise rather than thoughts of resentment and discouragement. That makes sense. Make friends with success by giving thanks for it wherever you see it. Do not be afraid that somebody will take your good away from you. When you are afraid, worried, and resentful, you cut down on your own power to receive good. Do not surround yourself with the thought aura of negative, vengeful, hurt feelings, for this will make all your associates shun you. Nobody likes a negative Nelly, right? Even a boss may at times suffer from jealousy, which may cause him to fear that his helpers will receive credit for their good suggestions and thus discredit his ability. When he trusts God instead of nursing a jealous heart, he knows that every good work that comes out of his department is a credit to him, and he should thank God for it. A department's head's greatest value is his ability to encourage and advance his subordinates. When we would render our best possible services, we must not allow jealousy to becloud our vision. If our success is so insecure that it cannot stand up when other persons succeed, it is not true success. We must practice putting all our affairs into the hands of God while we rejoice in the success of every person, even our competitors. It cannot help us to grieve when others succeed, but it does help a lot when we rejoice in their good fortune. For this puts us in a friendly relationship with success. By being forgiving and thankful always, you will become a magnet to attract good to you. Therefore, you do not need to worry about anyone else's good fortune. Back of material good fortune is spiritual good fortune. Build up your spiritual reserve of good fortune and then go forward in faith that God will supply all your needs bountifully, and there is nothing to fear from competition. Realize that when you are loving, forgiving, and happy, you are keeping close to the divine source, God, from whom all your good comes. No one in all the world can take away your good when you keep close to God in spirit. Hate, self-pity, resentment, and suspicion never help anyone to attain real success and happiness. Truth students should never allow hidden jealousy to cause them unhappiness because they know the law of the creative power of thought. Good thoughts bring good results. Jealous thoughts are not good thoughts. Therefore, jealousy is unprofitable and unnecessary, and it can be cast out by the power of God. Okay, I really like that lesson. As always, I thoroughly enjoy Lowell Fillmore's twist of tongue, the way he talks and the images he brings to mind. So you might want to have a pen and paper. We're going to go through 7 different affirmations, excuse me, that are going to help us identify and get rid of jealous thoughts, those unhealthy weeds. So the first one, I'll read these slowly twice. You may need to stop the video and write them down. This is a long one. Here we go. God is no respecter of persons. That's interesting, isn't it? Therefore, I have no cause to be jealous of other persons when I depend upon God for my supply. Okay, I'll read that again. God is no respecter of persons. Therefore, I have no cause to be jealous of other persons when I depend upon God for my supply. Okay, I hope you got that. Here's the next one. No desire for personal gain shall divert me from my course of adhering to and using the logical principles of Jesus Christ. Okay, we'll read that again in case you missed some. No desire for personal gain shall divert me from my course of adhering to and using the logical principles of Jesus Christ. Okay, here's day 3. I freely forgive myself. That's a good one right there, isn't it? If in the past I have made the mistake of considering personal glory more important than glorifying God. And we'll go through that one again. I freely forgive myself. If in the past I have made the mistake of considering personal glory more important, than glorifying God. Okay, here's the next one. I now freely forgive every person against whom I have held a grudge, because he got something that I wanted. I'll read it again. I now freely forgive every person against whom I have held a grudge because he got something that I wanted. Okay, this next one is a little longer, so give yourself space. Here we go. I release myself from the memory of all discords of the past that were caused by jealousy. By forgiving every person I have condemned. That's powerful. Okay. I now let the memory, this is the same one. I now let the memory of these inharmonious moments I'm just going to spell inharmonious in case it's new to you. INHARMONIOUS. Of these inharmonious moments. Go out of my consciousness. And I am free to think happy, pleasant thoughts. And I'll read that again. I release myself from the memory of all discords of the past that were caused by jealousy. By forgiving every person I have condemned. I now let the memory of these inharmonious moments go out of my consciousness. And I am free to think happy, pleasant thoughts. Okay, we've got two more. This one's kind of short. Here we go. My feelings cannot be hurt by any person when I have let Christ lift them up out of human reach. I love the visual on that. And we'll go over it again. My feelings cannot be hurt by any person when I have let Christ lift them up out of human reach. And here's our last one. My success is measured by standards of truth rather than by the comparison of myself with other persons. And we'll do this again. My success is measured by standards of truth rather than by the comparison of myself with other persons. So there we have it, the key to conquering jealousy, the key to pulling out the unhelpful weeds of our thoughts. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. I always enjoy learning with Lowell Fillmore, and I am so grateful for you joining us. Before we go, please know you matter. You are sacred, and you are so, so very loved. Namaste.
Thank you for joining us, and let's stay connected and grow in spirit. We are on Facebook. Search for Unity Church of El Cajon and follow us and like our posts. You can reach us on YouTube at Unity Church of El Cajon. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, and leave comments which can help us improve. We are on the web at unityofelcajon.org. Email or call our church office to receive our weekly newsletters, which lists all of our activities and opportunities to learn and grow together.